they are not you and you are not them. And they were building in a different time under different circumstances and different financial conditions. So, like, stay true to you.
All right, so today I have Ericka on the show with us. She is the host of the Boss Babe Reset, as well as the founder of Silken. Silken? Did I say
Silken.
properly? Properly?
Yeah, you
Okay, good,
did.
good. So the way that I like to start off the conversation is by asking you, how are you PMS? So physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Yeah.
So you can go as deep or as not as you want to in those three ways. So PMS.
Okay. Physically, I'm feeling really good. I've been on my gym kick, so we're feeling
Yes.
good. And I don't know if this is TMI, but we're ovulating. So, like as a female, when we're ovulating, we feel good. The hair is growing, skin is clean.
Yes.
So we're in a good season. Okay. Because
Yes.
luteal is a whole different person. So
Uh-huh.
we are good physically. Mentally, we are a little drained. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm coming off of a lot of travel over the past 2 weeks. I was in
Right.
Canada and then I was in Jamaica to handle some family stuff, and then
Oh.
finally just got back to like 2 weeks worth of emails. So
Ooh, not
we
fun.
are right. So we're catching up. And spiritually, I'm feeling really good. My church had our women's conference last week, Church Go Conference here in New York. So we are being filled. We are feeling filled. So that is how I'm doing.
Yes.
PMS.
I love it. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. So today we'll be talking about the simple self-care pyramid. So I would love to, before we even jump into that topic, I would love to for the audience to know a little bit more about you. So of course you are the host of the Boss Babe Reset podcast, and you are a CEO of a skincare company. So let's talk about your journey to where you are today.
Yeah, my journey is far from linear. I feel like I've lived 3 lives at this point. So my background is actually forensic science and pre-med. I knew I wanted to be a forensic scientist since I say 9 years old. I grew up watching all the crime scene shows with my grandmother. We're talking like CSI, Matlock,
I
okay,
remember
Murder, She
Matlock.
Wrote. Okay,
Yes,
I feel like
that
I'm aging
too.
myself, but that's the show.
Right,
Don't talk to
right,
me when Matlock is on,
right.
okay? Because we are sat. We are locked in. And that was my path forward, and that's exactly what I did. So I graduated with my bachelor's in forensics and pre-med. Post-grad, I spent some time doing crime scene toxicology. Quickly realized that it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was smellier than I thought it was going to be.
Listen.
Girl, that part does
Mm.
not come across the TV screen.
No, it does
They lied
not.
to me.
Mm. Mm.
And it was more mentally draining than I thought it was going to be. It's a lot of emotional toil that you're dealing with. And I hadn't had a weekend to myself in over a year, because that's just when most crime happens and you're on call on
Yep.
doing crime scene. So I was like, no, no, mm-mm. And then around the same time, my dad had passed away. So I was going through like a
Mm.
quarter life crisis, because I had this career that I thought I had wanted since I was 9 years old. And then I had this grief that I didn't really know how to process. So I was like, oh no, this is too
Mm.
much. So the millennial in me really kicked in, up and quit my job,
Mhm.
and decided to just travel for 6 months. And while I was traveling, I realized that environmental stressors were affecting my skin health, pollution in particular. I'd be in the Caribbean, skin glowing. I would
Yep.
come back to New York and like my eczema, acne would flare up. I was like, oh,
Right.
what is happening?
Right.
So I fell back on my forensic background and I just started formulating, and fast forward, Silken was born. And then
Wow.
after that, I realized that I had knew nothing about starting a business. So I decided to become an executive assistant. And I began supporting some of the biggest founders of
Smart.
private equity companies and brands, really just learning the ins and out of business. I call that my MBA boots on the ground.
That's
So
so smart.
forensic scientist, executive assistant to founder and podcaster, it's been far from linear. So Silken is my skincare brand. It's a pollution protection skincare brand rooted in microbiome science. And then I have my podcast, Boss Babe Reset, and it's for us high achieving girlies to really just talk about self care from a different lens, and how do we prevent burnout, and how do we achieve the success that we're looking for sustainably, because burnout is real. Let's be
Yeah.
all the way for real.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Ooh. I love that. First of all, I love how you decided to learn, essentially get that hands-on knowledge by being executive assistant. Very, very smart. Like, why not get paid to learn,
Right.
at the same time? Very, very smart. I love that. So let's talk about burnout. Let's talk about self-care, especially as someone who is doing a lot of things. Like, you have a lot going on. I could only imagine how much it takes to found a brand new company, right? And
Yeah.
because you take, because science is important to you, it's not gonna be like a fluff company. Like you are looking at research and things like that. Plus, you
Yeah.
have a podcast. So, how are you navigating all of that? What's your self care routine look like?
Consistent crash outs. No, I'm so
Shoot, that's important too.
like, yeah. No, it's real, it's funny, I feel like this conversation of work-life balance is trending, especially now. I don't know if you saw the Emma Grede, podcast. She was on Diary of a CEO, and there's this clip of her that's really trending right now, and she was
Yes.
really like, if you find me someone who says that work-life balance is real and they can balance everything, I'll show you a liar." And that has the internet in a chokehold right
Yep.
now.
Yep.
But my high achieving girlies, my high achieving people, we know that that's real. Like,
Mhm.
work-life balance is a myth, and the reality is when you're trying to be great, when you're trying to be extraordinary, your life is really just a series of trade-offs. And I
Mm.
always say you don't become extraordinary by doing ordinary things. So there are sacrifices that come into play in the pursuit of greatness. But the unfortunate side of that is that, burnout, being exhausted, all of these things fall into play. So to answer your question about what self-care looks like, I love to refer to I call it the self-care pyramid, but it's really a spinoff of, Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Mm.
And that's really just something that was, for those who don't know, it was introduced in, I believe, the early 1940s, like 1943. And it really outlines the 5 levels of human needs. And it's basically really depicted as a pyramid. So think of like your food pyramid. So you have like your 5 levels, your psychological needs, your safety needs, your love needs, your esteem needs, and then you have self-actualization at the top. So when I think of self-care for me, I try to think of like, are these different levels of the pyramid being met?
Mm.
And then we can always dive in a little bit
Yeah.
deeper.
That sounds good, yes.
Yes.
Because it looks like literally a pyramid and you said it's based off of Maslow.
Maslow.
I can't talk
Yeah.
today.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's a Friday. It's
I
Friday
mean, your
Eve.
girl is going
Yeah.
through it.
It's end of the week. We're
Yes.
tired.
Oh my gosh, I'm falling apart. So what's at the foundation of that?
Yeah, so like it's your physiological needs. So think of that as the base of your pyramid and it's your basic survival needs. So we're talking like food, water, rest, shelter, like all of the things that you basically need to survive.
Mhm.
And it's so crazy for me because in the early days of building my brand, like when you're building something from the ground up, there's a time and a season where you are in the trenches.
Yes.
You are
Yep.
in the
Head down.
gutters,
Yep.
okay? Like
Yep.
can't come up for air.
Yep.
And I completely neglected even my basic needs at the beginning of building this brand. Like, I wasn't drinking water throughout the day. My
Mhm.
husband would have to call me and be like, "Have you eaten?" I was skipping workouts. I was, not going outside for walks because I was like, "I need to send this email. Like, I
Yep.
need to finish what I'm doing." And I wasn't sleeping well. Like, your girl was falling apart.
I believe you. Listen, I've been there.
Like so, like, when we're talking about self-care from even the basic level, it's like, are you eating?
Yeah.
Like, are you getting air? Like, are
Yep.
you walking throughout the
Sleeping
day? Are you
properly. Yep.
sleeping?
Yep.
Yeah. So, like, and that's literally the foundation of the pyramid. That's your core because if those things aren't aligned, your physiological needs, nothing that you build on top of that is going to be okay. It's going to be built on a shaky foundation. So that's like step 1.
Yes, like the bare minimum of what we need for self-care. Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, what about the next one? What else do we have?
Yeah, so your level up from that, so I call it level 4 because it's 5 levels leading up to the top, are your safety needs. So it's like what
Mm.
makes you feel secure? What makes you feel stable? What makes you feel protected from harm? And for me, at the time, I was working a corporate job and building the brand and the podcast at the same time.
Ooh.
Quite psychotic if you ask me, looking back on it. Yeah. So, like, at that time, I realized that my safety needs for me were financial. Like
Mhm,
money made me feel safe.
mhm,
And that goes back to, again, coming from an immigrant family and like seeing how hard my parents worked to give me a very comfortable
mhm,
quality of life.
mhm,
I was like, oh, like money is my security. Like it's
mhm,
my ticket to something better. So I realized I had golden handcuffs. And it's
mhm.
crazy because so I'm actually now full time into my business and my podcast.
Nice.
But before that, last year around summer, I really had this calling, like it was time to go. Like it was time to go all in. And I
Mhm,
was just like, no. because money insecurity.
Of course,
Like,
of
I
course.
can't leave my corporate job to pursue this thing that I don't know what the end result is gonna be.
Yeah.
And God is just so funny because his ways are just so much higher than our ways, because in November, I ended up getting let go from that job, and I was like,
Oh, wow. Well, this is
all
it.
right,
It's all in
well,
now.
I hear you now, loud and
Right.
clear. So,
Right.
it goes back to those safety needs, what makes us feel safe, and identifying what that is for us.
Yeah, that makes sense. I recently came across a thread and a therapist was like, most of her patients, I think she was like 60% of her patients, maybe even 70% of her patients, like they would not be seeing her as often as they do, and they would not have depression and anxiety if they had like that financial security. They're like, if they
Yeah,
had like secure housing, if they had a job stability, food security,
yeah,
like a lot of those things that we're seeing as manifestations as a mental illness really are just like society and like not having the safety nets that we need. So yeah, I
yeah.
definitely see that as being absolutely part of, our self-care.
It's
Yeah.
real, and, like, especially money, like, especially in the Black culture in particular,
Yeah.
we feel so uncomfortable
Yeah.
talking about money. It's still a
Yep.
very taboo subject, but
Yeah.
understanding how the effects of money, like you said, affect us mentally, socially,
Yep.
physically, like, there are physical implications to feeling insecure about your finances.
Ooh, really and truly. And it comes from that
Okay.
trauma. I know a lot of us may have seen our parents work really hard and not get what we think that they deserve, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or maybe just growing up in households where, housing was insecure, people getting
Yeah.
evicted, growing up with that kind of stuff, or maybe not knowing where their next meal was going to come from outside of school, like things like that. Like it stays with us, even though we may have overcome that. Like, we have gotten our
Yeah.
degrees and we're like, upwardly mobile, we hold a lot of that stuff with us, and yeah, it
And what's
absolutely
even
is
more
going to
triggering
impact.
is that we're reliving it now. Eggs are $9. Like, what
Hello.
are we talking about?
Hello, somebody. Hello.
Like, it's
Yeah.
exhausting. You have
Yeah.
people working 3, 4 jobs, still
Yep.
needing roommates.
Yep. Yep, and
What
and
are we
we were
talking
taught
about?
exactly, and we were taught that if you put your head down, you keep your nose in the books, you go to college, you finish college, that you are going to be in a better position than, better position than your parents,
Yeah,
and now that is not the case. I was reading an article that
right.
was saying how millennials are doing far worse. They're more educated, but doing worse than their parents, like,
Yeah.
in America. Like, it's
I have people with master's degrees. I know people personally with master's degrees still working retail jobs,
Yep.
like at
Yep.
an associate level, not even a manager level.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
like, what are we doing?
Yep, yep,
You
yep.
know?
It's it's a
Scary.
mess. It is a mess. Yes,
Yeah.
and
I saw a thread on X talking about, like, we're reliving Hunger Games, and it's, like, hailing from District 12, and I'm like, "No, I feel that for real."
no,
Because
really and truly, and oh
it's
my gosh.
crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. You gotta laugh to, like, get through it, but it's just like, what is going on? Every single headline is, like, jarring. Like, "What? You're trying
Yeah.
to cut how many billions in, like, Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP benefits?"
Section 8.
Hello, and then you're
Where are we
saying
living?
right, and then they're saying, "Well, we need to do something about the declining birth rates." Hello, we cannot afford to have children. Hello?
Huh,
Like
what? I can barely afford food.
right, like
Yeah,
and most of the benefits, like Medicaid, SNAP, all of those things, they go to children, people under
exactly.
18 years old.
Yeah,
I fucking hate it here. Okay,
it's
sorry.
exhausting. It's crazy. Listen, I just need enough money so I can buy a little house in the Caribbean.
I
Leave me out of
want
it,
to have a
please.
little, like, farm near the beach and have a bed and breakfast. Like, "Come, I
Yes,
will take care of you, but life is gonna be real easy." Like, that's what I want.
literally.
Just like, this
I
is
may
too
do my 6
much.
months in a day in the US, gotta keep that,
Right,
citizenship
right.
in check, that 6 months in a day. The rest of that time,
Right.
y'all not gonna see me.
Listen, I don't know what's going on over here.
Yeah, and it goes back to what we were talking about, right? Like, the things that make us feel safe, even like food, water, how that stacks upon the physiological needs, right? Like, when those things are threatened, it's like, how do you even have mental capacity to think about expanding yourself and
Yes.
climbing the corporate ladder when it's like, "I don't know if I have food tomorrow."
Yeah, you can't. You can't, like,
How
you
do you
can't be
elevate?
exactly, you really can't truly, like, you can't be a full manifestation of, like, your greatness, of all of your ideas. You can't be creative if your needs are not being met. like the
Yeah.
most basic needs are not being met. So
Yep.
what's level 3?
Yep. So we had our physiological needs, our safety needs, and then I call them our love needs. And it's like your
Mm.
belongingness. So your
Mhm.
social connections, your relationships, and really just a sense of community. And we see this, I feel like, really taking a turn now with people seeking third spaces and in
Yes.
real life connections post panorama, if you will.
Yes.
And for me, it was really watching. I have a very supportive and loving friends, don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
for me, it's been like watching those relationships change as
Yeah.
I've really leaned into entrepreneurship. And that's
Mm.
actually been like a really rough season for me to navigate in simple
Yeah.
ways, right? Like friends are like, let's go out Thursday, Friday. I'm like, yo, I'm tired. Like I had a
Yeah.
day full of meetings. Like I'm mentally exhausted. And even if I come out with you, I'm not even gonna be present. And you guys
Yeah.
are gonna hate me. So like let me just stay home.
Yeah.
Please. Or like I can't be drinking Saturday through Monday because like I have responsibilities.
Right,
Like,
right.
like, like that's a Rugrats reference. I don't know
Yes,
if they watch that,
yes.
but like we have responsibilities. So, like, and
Yeah.
having to find different ways to hang out with my friends. Like, let's go for a walk. Let's go grab a matcha, like
Yeah,
finding different ways. And they don't fully understand what my life looks like. Like, they
yeah,
know Erica's building this thing and she has this podcast where she talks about stuff, but like understanding the magnitude of like what goes into it.
yeah.
Um, so like finding that belongingness,
Yeah. I think it's important to have, especially as entrepreneurs or somebody who's doing something creative or building something, to have people who are doing similar things. Like,
Yeah.
keep your core friends, of course, but also build a new community. One thing that I'm realizing is that how we all have multiple communities. So, like, our
Yeah.
family is one of them, maybe our childhood friends is another, our church friends or our spiritual
Yep.
community, our workout friends, our core like besties, and then also we need like people who are doing something similar because they get it. So when you
Exactly.
say like, listen, I can't go drinking, I'm gonna get you because you've been doing A through Z all week, and you need to
Yeah.
be sharp for Monday. If you have something really important, a big meeting coming up on Monday morning, you can't be hungover walking into that. So I would
Right.
get it.
Yeah, I
Um,
can't be pitching an investor slurring my words. Babe,
right,
that's not a good look. It's not a good look.
right, right. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so super important to just have those community ties, especially now too, thinking about just how how life is. We gotta step away from like the apps and the computer,
Yeah.
like to put the digital stuff. Digital has its space, you know what I mean? It's important,
Right.
but also we can't find all of our time and all of our community in that one medium just because, yeah, we need that
Yeah.
in-person connection.
But I love what you said about like trying to make new friends and different subsets of friends. But can we talk about like how hard it is to make friends as
It
adults?
is. It
Like it's
is.
a whole thing. That's a whole separate
It
episode. But
is
like
it is hard. You're right. You're so right. I said that really,
yeah.
like, casually, but it is so hard. Like, even myself, I told myself I'm trying to get, like, expand my horizons here,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I don't know how. Like, I don't know how.
Like, even trying to coordinate calendars, my friend was coming into town and she's like, "Oh, like, let's hang out over the weekend." I said, "Hang out over the weekend? Let me pull out my calendar and see what my weekend looks like." Like, it's actually quite crazy coordinating calendars. And even with my mom friends, like, they're like the kids nowadays, the baby social calendars, I feel like outdo the adult social calendars because they're like, "He
Listen,
got birthday parties and baby
that
showers and
part,
this,
and
that."
sports, and this and that. Yep.
I'm like, "Well, dang.
Yep.
How are we gonna do
Yep.
this?"
Yep. My friend, she was at the Cowboy Carter concert last night, and she was just like in MetLife Stadium,
Mhm.
and she texted me. She's like, "I just got another ticket or 2 free tickets for a Saturday. Can you come up to on Saturday?" And I was like, "Let me look for a flight." And I was just like, "Hold on, girl. Like, I have like
I
my
got
thing.
stuff.
I got stuff already. Like, I have plans. Like, the kids have things. I have things. I ain't got an outfit. Like, it's just morning getting a
Heavy
flight.
on the
Like."
outfit, like, heavy on the outfit part, though. Like,
Yes,
do I have time to get my hair and nails done?
and I
Like
don't, that's like that's tomorrow. Like, no,
yeah,
I can't do it. But yeah, like the coordinating piece is so hard.
yeah,
Like once you find somebody that like, oh, okay, we have this in common, that in common. Now, how do we find time? Like, our
yes.
calendars in common, okay? Like,
Right. I felt so cringe because my friend was like, "Oh, like, we need to, like, schedule some time to, like, talk reoccurringly," and I sent this girl my Calendly link. I was like, "Just just find a time that works for you."
You know what I started doing? I've started putting like I don't share that calendar, but I put people in my calendar. So like
Mm,
in a couple of
yeah,
weeks, I'm going to call, and I put a note too. So let's say I'm going to call Ericka to check on how that meeting went last week,
yeah,
just to see how things are going, how things are progressing, just so I know, like it's a little like alert and everything, just so
yep.
I can like, so they know that, that I am invested in what they're doing too. So yeah,
That's
that's
real.
that's one thing that
And
I've
to make
learned.
sure that need is met, like, we have to be extra intentional. So, like you said, for me, it's like putting that on my calendar, like
Yep.
sending my friends my Calendly link so we can like talk and like I call them like my pineapple friends. Like we've been friends since like elementary school and we all got matching pineapples and whatever. It was a whole matching pineapple tattoos. It was a whole thing. That's a whole different story for another day. But like, how that even became a thing. But like we have like Netflix dates. Like every third Wednesday of the month, we literally get on FaceTime and we watch a Netflix
I
movie
love
together,
that.
in real time so that we can talk about it. And it's like those are the things that like make you feel good
Hmm.
and safe,
And
and it
yeah,
trickles down.
yeah, and whole too. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And then let's talk about level two. What's on level two?
Those are the esteem needs, right? It's like what makes you feel good. So, what makes you feel respected? What makes you feel confident? It's that, I don't want to say validation, but it's like that recognition from
Mm-hmm.
others that you're looking for.
Hmm.
And for me, like this is like I feel like where I'm at now. Like I feel like I've navigated like 5 through 3. Like I feel
Hmm.
like I'm comfortable physically. I
Hmm.
feel relatively safe, even though being
Hmm.
a founder is like the least stable thing you could ever do. But like I feel like there's a level of safety there. I
Hmm.
feel like my relationships with people are in a good place after 2 years of trial and error, and
Hmm.
now it's like, okay, like, I want to be able to feel confident in this next level that I'm unlocking for myself, and
Hmm.
I've been really navigating, like, imposter syndrome and comparison because there are
Mm.
these, established founders, and it's very easy to compare your day 1 to someone else's year 5,
Right,
and
right,
it's
right.
like they are
Yeah.
not you and you are not them. And they were
Yep.
building in a different time under
Yep.
different circumstances and different
Yep.
financial conditions.
Yep.
So like
Yep.
stay true to you. So
Exactly.
I feel like this is where I don't even have an answer for this one as to like
I get it.
how we're just here.
I get it.
We're here.
I get it. One thing that I always remind my friends, especially whenever we start talking and we're talking about like, oh, I wish I was here or look at that person, is I always say, look back at what you've done. Make a list
Mm,
about what were your goals last year or the year before that or 5 years
right.
ago and think about how you've checked all of those things off, right? So
Yeah.
that's a reminder to help you to refresh that. No, you are moving in the right direction. So I think that sometimes helps, at least for me, like looking at the things that I said I wanted to do that I did, seeing like the physical list is like,
Right.
okay, like I'm doing the thing,
That's
it,
real.
yeah, even though it may not look like how I want it to look maybe, but I'm
Mhm.
in the right direction. So I
Yeah,
would
it's
say
you
that would
against
be a
you
thing.
at the end of the day.
Truly, truly,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's so cliche, but they say that comparison is a thief of joy, and that's so
Yep.
true. Because
It
you
is.
can to next year, you can be in Sephora, your products are in Sephora, you're doing really,
Yeah.
really well, but you might still be looking at Dior. Well,
Mhm.
why aren't I still in like Dior? Well, Dior's been here for
Yeah.
like, uh,
Hello.
okay, many, many
And
years. You know what
they
I
got
mean?
a quadrillion dollars,
Right,
you know?
So just remember where you've been is really, really helpful, I think. Yeah.
I received that,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
rough, but we're here.
For
We're
sure, for
navigating,
sure. That is part of being human,
Yeah.
like we're navigating. We're
Yeah,
always on
and
this
it's
journey.
crazy because, like, as, like, this high achieving girly, it's like we're avid planners typically, like, we have this plan that we expect to go without a hitch and all the things. Girl, let me tell you
Right.
about God laughs at our plans,
I
that's what they
know.
say, and it's
I know.
real,
Yep.
So, like, the
Yep.
reality is, like, my full transparency, the brand was supposed to launch in February of this year,
Mhm.
um, yeah, that plan didn't go to plan,
I get
like,
it. I get it. I mean, and this
and
year
it's
is a really
hard.
hard year too, like just in general.
A
So
quite
I
ghetto
get
year
it.
if
Listen, yeah, be
we're being
frank.
honest,
Yes,
like
call
a
the thing
quite
the
ghetto
thing.
year.
Yes, yes. It's a damn mess here. But
It's
yeah.
exhausting.
And then what is the top level?
The pinnacle at the tippy tippy top is self-actualization, and it's really this concept of achieving one's full potential and really living like a meaningful life. And I have such an unpopular opinion about this. Like I truly believe if you're an ambitious person, like if you're like that go-getter, I just don't believe that this is something that you actually achieve in this lifetime. Because like when it comes to
Mm,
reaching your full potential, I feel like until your last breath, you always have something else to give to this world,
sure,
you know? So I feel like
sure.
it's this concept of something that we pursue, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's something that you actually obtain, but that's at the top of the pyramid. So I
Yeah,
think for
yeah.
me, it's like setting the standard. It's like, what do I want to achieve in this world? What do I want my impact to be? What do I want to be known for? And setting that really as my North Star of like, this is what I want to be remembered for.
Yeah. And I think that often changes as we continue to grow and evolve and achieve the things that were on our list. Like
Yeah.
what we want to achieve is going to change, I think, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I do agree. I think especially high achieving people always have some type of a project going on, you know?
Always.
And yeah,
Never stops.
right,
Brain always
right.
going.
Yes. And I thought that about myself for a very long time. I'm just like, no, girl, you need a project and it's part of you. Like, it's okay. Like, don't fight it. Just embrace it at this point. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
You
Yep,
have to
it's
lean
completely
into it
fine.
because eventually something hits. Not every project is
Yep.
a win, but eventually you fall into the right projects.
Yep. And even if it's just like something little like my garden, like that's my project for the
Yeah.
summer. Like,
Yeah.
there's
I
no
told you
real
about my coloring book
expectation.
situation. Like how
Yes,
I had this
yes.
coloring book where I started coloring, and when I first started, I was like outside the lines and it wasn't as clean as I thought it was going to be, and I was going in on myself. I'm like, "Girl, it's a coloring book. Relax. No one else is going to see this but you. Please."
Yes.
Take the pressure off.
Oh goodness. I think I was telling you about how I was coloring with my youngest.
Yeah.
And he was like, on my page. I said, hold on. Like,
Please.
you please color on your own page.
What are
Because
you doing?
right, because my crazy self, when I'm done with my picture, yes, I put it on the fridge. His and mine too. Okay. Because I'm
I need y'all
proud
to
of my
see.
page. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and I've been talking to my friends about that too, like, even finding hobbies as adults is extremely huge because, again, this we're in this goal-oriented society where everything that we do feels like it needs to be tied to a certain outcome. So
Yeah.
what does it look like to just do something for the fun of it?
Yep.
Like, there's no expectation, there's no
Yep.
result that you're trying to achieve at the end, you're just doing.
Yep.
So I made my goal for the summer to learn how to roller skate because I don't know. But I was watching ATL the other day and I
Yes.
was like,
Right. Hold on.
this is a
Yes.
vibe. Like,
Yes.
I need to learn how to skate so I can go to Cascade and have me a good time. So
Roller
I
skating
ordered
is a good
my knee
time.
pads and my elbow pads and my
Yes.
helmet. So we're gonna
Yes.
get that's the summer goal. Y'all can hold me accountable to that if I learned how to roller skate over the summer.
Listen, we're going to check in. We are going to check in. Okay. We want to see photos and video on
Okay.
Instagram. I want to see you roller skate and we will check in.
That's the goal.
So
Yeah.
before we wrap up, I have a couple of like rapid fire questions for you. Okay.
Okay.
That are self care related. This one I think I know about you already, but morning bird or night owl?
Night owl.
I
We
knew it.
definitely talked about this. I don't know
Yes.
how rapid fire it is, but I feel like the creative brain when the world is asleep and I'm awake, it's just a whole different atmosphere.
Fair, fair.
Mhm.
Coffee, tea, or green juice?
I would say tea. I'm a matcha girly, so I feel like that
Okay.
falls under the tea category.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Sensitive to caffeine.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Mhm.
Gotcha, gotcha. Um, what's the last thing you Googled? This is personal.
That's crazy. Oh, well, last thing I Googled it's actually not too crazy, and I don't even use Google anymore, if I'm being honest. I'm a ChatGPT girly, so, like, Imma just put that under the same category. It was
Okay.
how to hook up my Sony FX30 to my, one of my microphones. I have a Bluetooth microphone, and I
Oh,
was like, I couldn't figure out how to hook it up to do a recording. That was my
gotcha.
last Google.
Fair, fair, fair.
Mhm.
What's the first thing you do after you've had a bad day?
Crash out, um, and then take a nap.
Fair. Listen, I love me a
Okay.
nap. A nap is like a quick little
Okay.
reset. A nap and a shower ain't nothing going
Hello.
to like that. Those two things can't fix. Like
That's it.
we'll
Imma
just
cry
start all over
myself to
again.
sleep. It didn't even happen, then we're gonna take a shower, we're gonna eat, and we're gonna
Hmm.
regroup.
Yes, yes, yes. What's a self care hill that you'll die on?
Ooh. Skincare. It sounds so cliche, but, like, I feel like there's something so intentional about skincare. Like, it's so much more than just, like, products.
Yep.
It's, like, the sensory, it's the looking at yourself in the mirror, it's the talking to yourself, speaking words of life over yourself. It's the physical sensation of touch and touching your face and your body and checking in and
Yep.
understanding what your body's trying to communicate to you. Like, it's such a personal thing. So, like, I
Yep.
feel like skincare is self-care for sure.
I am with you on that 1,000%. Like that ritual, everybody needs. Like,
Yeah.
who cares your age? Who cares your gender identity? Like, all of those things, you need to have like a self care routine. I was just talking to my son about this morning. There's a tangent.
Mhm.
But I come downstairs, I'm just like, everybody ready for school? And he's just like, yeah. I'm just like, no, you're not. You are ashy. I'm like, did you put lotion
What are
on?
we doing?
Yeah. He's like, no. I'm just like, so you use soap to suck all the dirt and the moisture out your face and you didn't replenish it. I'm just like, go back upstairs. I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's go together. So I'm just like, here, because he's 10, he's starting like to get
Mhm.
like his eczema's flaring up. Plus, I think
Okay.
the hormones are starting to hormone. So
Yeah.
his skin is starting to get a little bit texture. So I'm like, well, firstly, we're going to put some toner on. And then
Yep.
secondly, while it's still damp, we're going to put some moisturizer on. This one's sunscreen. I'm just like, but like, let's
Mhm.
stay in the mirror. You brush your teeth, you wash your face, you stay in that mirror, you do your
Yeah.
skincare, look at yourself. Do you feel good? Like your eyebrows together, like, and then we
Yeah.
come downstairs. I'm just like, come on. Like, he's
Yes,
just like,
especially
okay,
for our
okay.
men. They need it.
Yes,
The 3 in
yes.
1 body shampoo,
Absolutely
body
not.
wash, we're not
No.
doing that.
No, we
Let
are
it
not.
go.
No, we are not. And my thing is too, like, I'm trying so hard to raise boys that become men who are not dusty, crusty, musty. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want
Yeah,
like,
because first off, you're not gonna embarrass me in these streets,
hello.
okay? First
And
and
your partner is
foremost.
saying that you weren't raised right. Because I'm
Right.
raising, okay?
We're not gonna do that.
No, we're not. And I tell them
Listen,
that too. I'm just like, listen, I need for people to know that you are loved. You're very well
okay?
loved.
You belong
Okay.
to somebody.
Period. And then
Yes.
two more questions. So, what's the last thing you did for fun?
No, what is the last thing I did for fun? Oh, I went bike riding in Central Park 2 days ago, and that
Ooh.
was fun. It was
Oh.
a little competitive, but, like, it was fun.
You're like,
Right, because 'cause Imma beat you up this hill, and it's really it's not a real competition, I just created it in my head,
the
so,
other
like,
person
now
is
I need
like,
to
just
prove a
do do
point.
do.
Right, just
And they're like, why are
strolling.
you up there? I
Like,
feel
yeah.
you. Same. When I would go to the gym, like the person next to me, like we're in competition. They're
We're in
minding their
competition.
business. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Right, I got you. Incline
Right,
up.
right. Okay. We can play that game.
Right.
Meanwhile, they have no idea what I'm doing, but I feel you.
Clueless.
Okay. And the last question that we have here is what is something that is currently bringing you joy? Because you do so much,
Mm.
right? You're in your focus era, and I get that. But what is something that's currently bringing you some joy and levity to your everyday?
Hanging out with my friends, that has
Yeah.
been so huge because, like I said, over the past 2 years, it has been a journey, like, maintaining my friendships and relationships, and
Yep.
they were in some rocky places because I was truly not being a good friend. If we're being I just wasn't a present friend,
Yeah.
but now I have some space to kinda breathe, and I'm like, "Let's go do something," and I'm fortunate enough that a lot of my friends are starting to build their own businesses, careers, so they're moving back to New York, and I'm like, "This is great because we haven't lived in
Yay.
the same city since before college," so
Yes.
spending
Oh,
time with friends and
nice.
family.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Erica. So, where
Oh.
can the people find you on social media?
Ooh, so if you like me personally, you can
Mm.
find me on all social media at the Ericka Nicole, and that's Ericka because we are extra special. If you're interested in my skincare brand at Silken Co, SILKENNCO on all platforms. And then if you're a high achieving girly and you're interested in self care hacks, productivity hacks, Boss Babe Reset is definitely where you need to be. We are on all streaming platforms and Boss Babe Reset on all social media platforms.
Beautiful. Of course, I will link all that down below in the show notes. That way you can go listen to the podcast, rate, review, 5 stars, please, and
Please.
all of those good things. Yes. Thank you for listening to this episode of Be Well Sis. If you'd like to get in touch with us, there's a link in the show notes. Be Well Sis is hosted by me, Dr. Cassandra Dunbar, and produced by Edit Audio. Don't forget to hit follow so you never miss an episode. Until next time, be well, sis.